What do you think is when it goes down? Or should we drop it?
Yeah, just have a rest now. Support it.
Alan, you made it built to last.
We'll drop it again down on the
Are you getting it down on the trolley?
I'd like to actually
Drop it over down.
Okay, this goes on brand. Still resting on the track.
Are you off yet?
Okay, trolley coming in,
Hang on.
Well done, chaps.
Oh.
All right.
can do something maybe not that similar, but at least getting along those ways. Hello, there's Emma, isn't it?
Yeah. How are we?
Good.
Just get through.
Pirate. I know you're in the...
the community has been put to the side, pushed to the side, in the interests of profits, in the interests of companies, for the communities that they claim that they're there to provide jobs and economic prosperity. In legislated net zero emissions targets. In recent weeks, we've seen economists, I cite the Deloitte Access Economics report that came out earlier this week, outlining a future where economic impacts will drag our communities backwards. It will allow a route for us to take. So I take my hat off to them and all the work that they've done, because I worked in the construction industry. I was a worker. I lost my job when the oil price was down. And I would have been so happy with this bill today. They need to do the right thing, protect the community, and ensure that everyone that they claim to represent and they...
That's the bill.
Okay, so today we have a
carbon transition. And that is key, because if we want to maximize the social and economic benefits of the low carbon transition that is going on, we need a legislative framework. We need a Carbon Change Act. The second point I'll make is that legislative targets, renewable energy targets, are actually what we need to establish unity, because in the other electricity generation, a reality in those states. And what made it happen was the legislative frameworks, And I'll just pass over now to one of the fantastic young people we have, Caitlin.
I'd like to start this off by acknowledging that we are standing on Whadjuk Noongar land and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. I would also like to acknowledge that sovereignty was never ceded, and this always was, always will be, Aboriginal land. I am standing in front of you today to talk about our ongoing climate crisis, which is jeopardising not only my future, but the future of many generations to come. Our communities, our children, our grandchildren and our families. We are gathered here, united by our concerns for the climate crisis, and to tell the state government behind me how much this bill means to us and our fight for climate justice. If this bill is passed, we will be able to create a safer future and avoid any further catastrophic consequences of climate change. Roughly 2 months ago, the Morrison government announced a new gas plan, with the government promising to step in if the industry didn't step. Not only increase fracking, but will result in the emissions of tons of carbon dioxide and other nasty things, further contributing to our climate crisis. Today, also the local and federal governments, that this change is vital to all of us and they need to fund our future, not gas. We want no public funding for gas and other fossil fuel-based projects, but we want funding for projects that will help transition our economies and communities to 100% renewable energy by 2030, our long-term goal. We are students of various ages from all over Australia, and we are united by our ongoing concern for the future of our planet. As a whole, School Strike for Climate only demands 3 things, including the Adani mine. 2. 100% renewable energy transition for job creation for all fossil fuel workers and communities. This means the fossil fuel industry and those living in areas who rely on these industries. This is all very close to a safe and crisis-free future. Thank you.
Thank you, Caitlin.
Now, we're just about to, but sadly, we are dealing with infrastructure, we're dealing with structures that are put up deliberately in place to put us down. So we need everyone to rally around this bill and to get involved. They need to stay angry, they need to stay active, and they need to organise. Because if we don't, these people won't. So, we do have a... but we need to reach out to everyone we know and beyond to get them involved with what we're doing. Which is shameful. We need elected officials to come to the table and to pass legislation like this to protect our community, to safeguard our jobs and ensure that our community are protected from the worst impacts of climate change. We also need to stay angry, absolutely angry. We need to take that anger, we need to store it inside ourselves and use setbacks. Regardless of what government's in place, regardless of ScoMo and all the other people that are lined up around him to protect their vested interests, we will always have a voice, and we'll continue to keep building, and we'll keep fighting until legislation like this is passed. May not be today, but it will be in the future. So thank you so much for coming out today. It means so much to me, and it means so much to the people that helped organise this rally today. And it would have been made possible if you didn't show up today. So thanks so much, and I'll see you on the other side of the debate.
Our mass actions made London stop in its tracks when thousands took to the streets and blocked business as usual climate change bill and support its passage. We are here to tell the Greens, the Labour Party, the Liberals, the Nationals, and all politicians in the West Australian Parliament that this does not go far enough. After 8 years in Parliament, I know what it's like to tell the truth in those chambers, to see their blank or dismissive stares from across the chamber, the shaking of heads. The cross-party support I earned for the motion on suicide of a trans activist was the first time we got cross-party support on something. So I do know that MPs have a heart and they can work together for a common purpose. We urge you, each of you, and the men and women in there, to act with greater urgency, for all our efforts will be naught. Our demands are clear. Acknowledge the scale and the seriousness of the crisis. Enactment of a citizens' assembly and commit to net zero emissions by 2025 immediately. This is the only way to ensure a swift and just transition to a safe and sustainable future for all humans and all life on Earth. The science is clear. Every month, the window for taking action slowly closes. If we don't act now, we are locking in catastrophic consequences, and most of us will see these in our lifetimes. The emergency is now. We cannot wait until 2040 to get to net zero. This weak goal commits us to a future of misery. So we will continue to take to the streets and demand safety for all against this climate emergency. Our house is burning now, and this bill authorizes our leaders to wait until next week to see if there's any water about. The world is on fire. Our fossil fuel paymasters are pouring oil and gas onto the flames. Meanwhile, our leaders are saying, this is a problem, but let's deal with it tomorrow. 2040 is too late. 2030 is too late. Now is the only acceptable time for action. Extinction Rebellion have a piece of theater to share with you now, so I draw your attention to the Red Rebels.
Mounted day frog, Sharks Mounted torrent frog, extinct. Mount Glorious day frog, Mount Glorious torrent frog, Southern day frog, extinct. Christmas Island forest skink, extinct. Victorian grassland deerless dragon, extinct. Brush-tailed bettong, southeastern mainland, extinct. Desert rat kangaroo, extinct. Big-footed bandicoot, extinct. White-footed rabbit rat, extinct. Central hair wallaby, extinct. Rufous hair wallaby, southwestern mainland, extinct. Eastern hair wallaby, extinct. Banded hair wallaby, mainland, extinct. Lesser stiff-necked rat, extinct. Tamar wallaby, South Australia, extinct. Two-leg wallaby, extinct. Lesser gilby, extinct. Bramble cane enemies, extinct. Long-tailed hopping mouse, extinct. Big-eared hopping mouse, extinct. Darling dance hopping mouse, extinct. Present Nowdale wallaby, extinct. Western barred bandicoot, mainland, extinct. Desert bandicoot, extinct. Christmas Island pipistrelle, extinct. Broad-faced pottery, extinct. Blue grey mouse, extinct. Goose mouse, extinct. Dusky flying fox, extinct. Eclipse rat, extinct. Bulldog rat, extinct. Thylacine, Tasmanian wolf, Tasmanian tiger, extinct. Lake Bathurst worm, extinct. Canoe snail, extinct. Norfolk snail, extinct. Yorktown snail, extinct. Macquarie slug, extinct. Lord Howe slug, extinct. Tasman starling, extinct. White-throated pigeon, extinct. Red-crowned parakeet, extinct. Western rufous bristle bird, extinct. King Island emu, extinct. Kangaroo Island emu, extinct. Tasmanian emu, extinct. Roper river squirrel, extinct. Norfolk brown dove, extinct. Lord Howe dragon, extinct. New Zealand pigeon, Norfolk Island subspecies, extinct. Norfolk Island long-tailed driller, extinct. Norfolk Island cathead, extinct. Norfolk, Lord Howe Island, extinct. Norfolk, Norfolk Island, extinct. White gullingle, extinct. Parakeets, Mount Glorious Day Frog, Mount Glorious Torrent Frog.
expected that many of us are going to feel powerless in the fight for meaningful government action on climate. We as a people feel love and pain for our world as we are forced to watch it burn. Go now with us to Solidarity Park on the other side of Parliament, where the Greens have set up a live stream of today's proceedings. Extinction Rebellion is also holding a talking circle to debrief from our action today. All are welcome to speak their mind without judgment. We hope we will see this bill accepted by the Labour government, but most likely we will see our political system fail yet again, as the closest thing we've had to climate action is delayed, filibustered, and dismissed. We will not wait. We will not rest. We will fill our hearts with love for all life on this beautiful earth. We will act in peace, committed to nonviolence as we rage against the toxic systems that threaten us. In 2 weeks' time, our festival of love and rage starts at 9 a.m. at the Malcolm Street Bridge. On Friday the 27th, we say, no more waiting. Join us.